What's up, everybody? I'm Flash. This is One Man's Opinion, the show where we cover just about everything. And today, Jeff's going to teach me how to sing low again. Well, he's going to try. And I'm going to see what I can do, if I can keep up in some realm, in some way. Keep up with him as best as I can, which will, probably not be great. But it should be fun to watch and listen along. And who knows, maybe I'll learn something along the way. So we're going to let Jeff get going. This one's a little bit longer than the last one, so we'll just we'll take it in parts. We'll play along where we can, and we'll listen and maybe learn something. So let's go. Also, going to be doing another Disney live casting pretty soon. Thinking I'm going to do Pocahontas on the next one. But if you have a suggestion for another Disney movie that you would like to see the live action cast to, put that in the comments below. If that's something that interests you, if you think Pocahontas would be a good one to do, let me know. And if you'd like to hear me do a different one, let me know that in the comments as well. Obviously, any other suggestions you have for me or the channel, I'm open to those also.
Let me answer your two biggest questions right away. One, yes, you pronounce my name Jeff. And two, the reason I can sing so low is because I have long hair.
Okay, all right. So first of all, I'm going to exit out of that. But first of all, we have confirmed Jeff is how to pronounce his name. So I'm going to give that a shot. Jeff. Okay. I think I nailed that. I think I nailed that pronunciation. Now the long hair. There was a time in my life where I had longer hair. Never quite as long as Jeff's, but my hair grows out. I have very thick hair, so when I had long hair, it was like wearing a helmet on my head. And, I'd have to keep mine really thin to grow it out long. So I don't know. I may just have to retire from singing low before my career ever really gets started. That's unfortunate, but I just don't see myself going back to the long hair days.
I have to admit that I was a little surprised by the amount of comments and questions I got on the last video. And I was going through and leaving replies, and it just seemed easier to make a second video that answered some of those questions. So here we go. Let's jump right in.
Okay, time out, Jeff. First of all, what is this? Was there a time in like meme culture where I missed this thing? I know he was doing it to emote that he was surprised by the questions, but that is horrific. That is like something out of my nightmares. I don't know what that is. All right, we're going to move on.
Jump right in. Vocal fry. There was a little confusion in the comments about vocal fry and what that is and how you do it. Is it a breathing out technique? Is it a breathing in technique? It is definitely a breathing out technique, and you are barely breathing. The way that you find vocal fry is by trying to imitate like a creaky door or somebody whining, or if you've seen The Ring, the ghost girl on there, Samara, she does this like thing. When you're just barely popping your vocal cords together, that's vocal fry. And what I'd recommend is frying down as low as you can. Because like I said,
it was a horrible time for an ad. Let's go back. But I think I'm understanding the vocal fry a little bit more. Maybe his description of it this time, maybe I just have read enough comments or something, but I'm starting to get a better picture for what that's supposed to sound like.
That's vocal fry. And what I'd recommend is frying down as low as you can, because like I said, I think the lower, in my experience, the lower that you can vocal fry, the lower you'll be able to sing. And that leads us
all right, we're going to try out the vocal fry one more time. He said to start high and then work our way down. So let's just try to do the vocal fry first, and then we'll worry about up and down. So starting out. I tried to drop it a little bit there. We're going to start high. We're going to do it one more time. Kind of takes the breath away from you. All right. Well, I kind of worked my way down a little bit, but I was surprised. I thought I would be able to drop. Maybe if I do it a little faster. Hang on. you can kind of hear it starting to strain there toward the end. Okay, I feel like I'm making a funny face, but there we go. There was an attempt. I feel like that was all right. So, vocal fry, maybe a 8 out of 10. I don't know what the scale is. I'm grading myself. I don't know what this is becoming. All right, subharmonics. Let's do it.
Subharmonics. If you are practicing subharmonics and your voice is getting tired, I think that's pretty normal. You're asking your voice to do something that it is not used to doing. So it's going to get worn out kind of quick. Over time, you'll develop more of a tolerance for it. What I'd recommend is not spending a whole lot of time on it all at once. 10 minutes at a time, take a break, maybe 20 minutes and then come back. Otherwise, just working on it throughout the day is totally fine. You will get better. I can't stress this enough that it takes time and practice and patience. It is not easy to do. If you're having a hard time finding the subharmonic range,
okay, not really anything for me to practice there, so I'm going to let him keep cooking for now. We'll see what happens.
You may be starting too high in the scale or too low. I would recommend getting with a piano or using an app on your iPhone or Android phone and starting at a place that is not too high or too low. You're going to have to figure out what works best for you. I think I mentioned in the last video, somewhere around an A or G is usually a good place for me. And then make sure you're not using too much air or too little air. It's an extremely fine line to walk, and the only way you're going to figure it out is by practicing. So like,
I love his little visual aids. That's like one of my favorite things about this videos. I mean, obviously, I enjoy doing the videos
really
for
a good place for
a lot of reasons, but
for me. And then make sure you're not using too much
this one in particular really tickled me.
Air or it's an extremely fine line to walk, and the only way you're going to figure it out is by practicing. So like, if you're starting on a like for me, D would be high. You can just hear like I'm never gonna get it. It's too high for me. There's a lot of cracking and popping. So that would be a note that I would not try to do in subharmonics, but like a G is fine. I can get away with that one pretty much all the time.
I did not consider that you could start too high because of the way that you drop to that next level. Starting too high could be as detrimental as starting too low. I hadn't even thought about that because it seems like there shouldn't be a too high. But now that I hear him give that a shot and hear what his voice was doing, that makes sense. So I've got to figure out where to start, and I've got to either get a piano or just download an app. I'll probably download an app. Seems easier than getting a piano. But I could give it a shot again, but be fair. I haven't really practiced this since the last one, maybe a couple times, but we're gonna give it a shot. So I think if I remember how he does this right, you want to start off at your normal speaking voice. So somewhere right here, this is me, normal, and then you want to drop it. I don't know how he did it anymore. I have to hear him actually do it. Let's see. Hang on.
Popping. So that would be a note that I would not try to do. You can just hear like I'm never gonna get practicing. So like if you're starting on a like for me, D would be high.
Hello. I'm trying to find where mine would be. I don't know. Something feels wrong about how I'm doing it. And I need to go back and rewatch that first video because I felt like I had at least the idea of how to do the subharmonic thing, and I think I've forgotten. I remember that it was that you drop an octave. Yeah, I remember that, but I really need to hear someone else do it. I had somebody on one of my videos comment recently. It was one of my older reactions for voice play, and I had mimicked one of Lane's beatboxing. Like it was something that he was doing in the song. He was beatboxing, and somebody commented. They were like, hey, you did pretty good at that. Have you ever done beatboxing before? And I told them, I was like, no, not really. I'm decent at mimicking people, but I don't really have an ear for music. So like I can mimic when somebody does something and catch the essence of what they're doing, but that doesn't mean that I myself could do those things on my own, left to my own devices. This is outside my realm of expertise or even experience. I haven't done much of this in the past, so I would need to go back and re-listen to him on that first video again to get an idea, which is something I need to do. Maybe as it goes, we will continue to catch on.
The only way you're going to figure it out is by practicing. So like if you're starting on a like for me, D would be high. You can just hear like I'm never going to get it. It's too high for me. There were a lot of comments about making the subharmonic louder. That makes me think that there's a lot of off-mic acoustic singers out there watching this video. I don't have a lot of cause to sing off-mic these days. Voice play always performs on microphone. Secondly, doing subharmonics off-mic is not a thing that I would probably do. I'm just not there yet. Maybe with time and practice, sure. But for all of you out there that are trying to make it audible off mic, stick with your strongest notes is what I would say, and really work on those to get those as audible as you can. Know what that feels like, and just go for it. See how it works. How do you make the subharmonic smoother and more consistent sounding? This is a good one. Okay, so I can recommend, once you find the subharmonic range in your own voice, is I would start on whatever pitch is easiest for you. Ooh, G for me, and then slip into and out of your subharmonic register. So, ooh, and then once you get good at that, you can start moving up the scale or down the scale. So, is that D? That's that D I was talking about earlier. Look at that.
You could hear he started to.
Yeah, so that would be one way to do it.
You could hear him start to struggle when he got to that D, so he knows exactly where his limit is at this time. And so that's pretty cool. All right, I'm going to give this one shot, and it's going to be bad. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, I don't think I can do this because I can barely do the regular thing. But why not give it a shot? Let's see what we can do. Oh yeah, I started losing it somewhere in there. And I did not consistently go up or down the ladder. I kind of just moved around. But, you know, it's something. I don't know. Maybe I'm in the neighborhood of at least trying to do this thing right. But it is neat, man. It's stuff I've never even known anything about, really. And so it is a lot of fun to kind of play along and try to, if you're watching this, you give it a shot. See what you can do. Yeah, because I've flexing muscles I've never really flexed before. And so that's pretty cool. It's a pretty interesting thing.
Obviously, it's going to take time to get to that point in your subharmonics as well. But once again, practice. Where do I place the note? Where do you place the note? Where do I place the note is, I feel it up here in my mask, but I am making very, very, very sure to drop my larynx out of the way.
That's what I'm trying
to do. You can probably see, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but
it's funny because I've actually been watching his throat quite a bit because I wanted to see that movement and see, because I'm trying to mimic what he's doing to try to learn to use the same muscle groups that he's using and trying to find that pocket that he's in.
My atoms at my larynx is pretty low. That helps for some reason. I don't really understand the anatomy of it. Maybe somebody out there does. But yeah, so I'm not really sure I'm answering the question, where do I place it? I feel like it maybe starts up here somewhere and then moves back here.
No, yeah, I get what he's saying. I get what he's saying because you want it, and again, as far as the technical jargon, I don't have it. I don't know it. But I feel like when I attempt it, I start in here, and then by the time I get, I'm down here, and so it's it's much lower. It's here. This is where it's coming from instead of up here through the nose. I don't know. It's like a feeling.
Can subharmonics help you sing higher?
Ads are killing me.
Good question. I am probably not the person to ask about this.
That's fair.
That, I believe, is called a vocal whistle or a whistle tone. There's lots of people out there that can do it. One of the most popular ones is Mariah Carey, or she used to be able to anyway. There's probably some YouTube tutorials out there about that. If you search around, you can probably find something. But once again, I'm not the guy to ask. Sorry. There were a lot.
It would make sense that there is kind of the mirror image for people who want to sing higher, that there are things, higher up that you could practice, and sort of the reciprocal of the vocal fry, and that sort of thing on the other side of the scale. So that's something I hadn't really thought about as I'm watching these videos, but that's why I actually have really enjoyed this video, because people are asking questions I wouldn't have even thought to ask, and I'm learning more things that I would have never even known about. So this is really cool.
About, is the subharmonic technique something that females can use?
Sure.
I don't know. I've never met anybody or seen any females that can do this. Not to say that they can't. I assume anatomically we're pretty similar in there. Give it a shot. Let me know if there's any women out there watching. I'd be super curious to find out for myself.
It seems like they would be able to do it. And now, obviously, hitting super low notes and things, women are generally more inclined to a higher register. And so, but it would seem like they would have a version of it that they could do where they could drop it. And it feels like a lot of you who watch these videos, who comment on my videos, could probably tell me if you're female, if you've tried these techniques and what it sounds like to you, how it comes out for you. I would be actually really interested in hearing a woman give this a shot. That's a really interesting thing that I hadn't considered.
EQing. I am not a sound engineer. However, I did mention in the last video that when you're doing the growl technique, you need to EQ the air out of it. What did I mean by that? Okay, first of all, I should have used a pop screen or a windscreen in the last video, and I didn't. That would have helped a lot. That cuts the air.
I don't have one of those.
Secondly, on the EQ, what you're trying to do with EQing the air out of it is basically just dropping all the high end, and for this technique, you're boosting the low end. So for example, like the end of Daddy Sing Bass, in the sky, Lord, in the sky, Lord, in the sky.
What?
And obviously, the better you get at that, the less air you have to push, and that just helps the sound overall.
Okay, I'm not gonna try to sing the song. Sorry. This is where I get off the train. But I don't know how he does that when he gets to that. I can't even begin. I was talking about mimicking earlier. I can't even begin to mimic what that is.
Obviously, the better you get at that, the less air you have to push, and that just helps the sound overall. What can you do to lower your voice naturally? Sky, in the sky, Lord, in the sky. And obviously
that doesn't even sound like language. Like, it doesn't even sound like words. It sounds like, I don't know what. It's a rumble. It's a storm. I don't know what it is, but I don't know how he does that. And I am not. I could attempt it, but I know I wouldn't even be close to hitting something like that, because it's like breathing, but there is a sound to it. Like, you can, if you listen close, you can hear him say sky, which means there is vibration. It's not just a low breath, but there is a vibration of the vocal cords there. So that's ska, ska, no, ska, 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 ska. Yeah, that's just me trying to say sky really low. So I don't know how he does that. That is amazing.
The better you get at that, the less air you have to push, and that just helps the sound overall. What can you do to lower your voice naturally? First, stay relaxed. What do I mean about stay relaxed? If you are pushing to hit low notes, or if you are straining for volume, your vocal cords are going to tighten up, and then you're going to lose your lower range. Everything's just going to get higher. So definitely stay relaxed. If you can do some light stretching, make sure these muscles are loose. If you're tight, that's going to be a problem. Yeah, so stay relaxed. Second,
stay relaxed. Keep yourself relaxed. Don't go too deep. Don't try to do too much, 'cause now I can feel the strain right here. But here I'm more relaxed. This is still pretty relaxed. I don't know what I'm doing.
Practicing your vocal fry in your lower register will help you achieve some lower notes and help you round out whatever lower notes you have. That being said, you're probably not going to increase your vocal range in your lower register a whole lot. You kind of need to be happy with the voice that you have. I would rather have a super loud low C than the A or the A flat. If I could sing that off mic and knock somebody over from across the room, I'd be very happy with that. So I've learned to work with what I've got. Practicing your vocal fry in your lower register will help you with that. So for example, just start as low as you can, or wherever, and then move down. That's one way that I know of. I also know, obviously, sulfur hexafluoride is a thing. Testosterone injections are a way to do that as well. Also, I should mention, you can induce light trauma.
These commercials are in the worst places.
You can induce light trauma to your vocal cords. Use this at your own risk.
Yeah, I would say two things here. Number one, I appreciate how positive Geoff is about always using your own voice and being happy with what you've got and working with what you've got. He doesn't try to push people to sing as low as he does. He doesn't try to push people to try to push themselves or exceed something that they're capable of doing. Instead, he encourages people to find a place that they're comfortable in and to get good at what their voice is already good at doing. And I think that's a really cool message to send. Secondly, that thing he just said that you could do sounds like something you should be really careful doing. I would hate to know that someone would cause some sort of permanent damage to their vocal cords if they took that, a little too far. So, just be careful out there because that seems... I understand. This guy's a professional. Us at home, we shouldn't be probably screaming at the top of our lungs to try to drop our voice a little bit for the next day. He knows what he's doing. So, don't take those things too far.
Also, sing all the time. I've noticed in my career that if I'm working consistently, if I'm singing a lot, then I'm able to do the things that I want to do with my voice. My voice is also more consistent. If you're looking for a place to sing, I would recommend joining a barbershop chorus or an a cappella society. You would be so surprised with how much you can learn singing with other people. It's a great, great, great thing to do, and I cannot recommend it highly enough. If you're looking for something, there's some links below in the description. Finally, you can wait. Males and females alike, your voice will change until the day you stop breathing. Your job as a singer is to keep all of your range and not just worry about the low notes. You want to keep the high notes and the low notes. If you've seen any of Voice Plays videos, you know they make me use every single note that I have. Thanks, boys. Finally, who do I
actually haven't reacted to that one yet. That's one that's been recommended a few times, so I'll have to do that one.
think is the best bass out there? Well, I think it's pretty obvious. And you guys probably agree too. There's really only one answer. I mean, come on. It's got to be.
Yep. Yeah, smart duck there by Geoff. I don't blame him for that at all. Yeah, well done. All right, well, this video's quite a bit longer than the last one. Of course, his video was twice as long also here. Me reacting to that kind of doubles up on the time. I'll probably trim out quite a bit of my own video, but I may trim some of his as well. That way you guys just kind of get the highlights of this. But let me know what you guys thought in the comments below. There is another set of questions that he answers that I would be happy to look at and react to if that's something you're all interested in. Thank you all for stopping by and hanging out with me. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. I'm getting out of here. This has been One Man's Opinion. Thanks.